Ed, Edward, and Alfred. Welcome to the show. It's Ed, Edward, and Alfred. They'll keep you in the know.
Now, we're talking today about medical marijuana, medicinal marijuana. We had a little talk with Alfred about it at the top of the show. We had a video, and maybe we'll be able to get to that video later. If not, we'll play it another day. But the video was basically about some of the facts surrounding medical marijuana, the beneficial aspects of medical marijuana to the general public. Well, here in Mississippi, we have medical marijuana. We have dispensaries, and a lot of people are using it. You go to the doctor, you get a prescription, then you're able to go to a dispensary and buy it. There are many different ailments that it's being prescribed for, and so there is a group here in Mississippi that's an educational advocacy group for medical marijuana, and we've got the director of that organization, Mississippi Patients Voices, and her name is Elizabeth Feder Hosey, and she's here in the studio with us. Elizabeth, welcome to the show, and thank you for coming today, and excited to have you here on the show to talk about this hot topic.
Thank you, Edward, for having me here today. I'm excited to talk about it.
So, okay, let's start at the beginning. Tell us about medical marijuana. Now, this is a relatively recent thing. Over the last couple of years, few years, this became a big topic in the forefront of news in Mississippi. We have legalized medical marijuana, and we have dispensaries that are in place. Tell us a little bit about who is a good subject, who is a good, the average person. I mean, what ailments are helped by medical marijuana, for example?
So, thank you for asking that question. And there is a more complete list on MississippiPatientVoices.org or on the Health Department website. But people who suffer from chronic pain, post-traumatic stress disorder, there are some like digestive diseases, Crohn's disease, cancer, endometriosis. There's just seizures, epilepsy. There's a whole host of applications for medical marijuana. And when you look at the state and when you look at our demographics and you look at the number of people living in poverty, people children going into foster care, and just the stats in Mississippi, there's going to be a lot of people suffering from PTSD. There's going to be a lot of people suffering from chronic pain. And the people of this state came together with the ballot initiative to get this program going for the benefit of the people in this state. And the program's going really well. It's been up and running since the beginning of 2023. I've been a patient myself since April of 2023 and have personally experienced the great benefits of medical marijuana, particularly in relation to my mental health, my stress levels, my pain levels, my mobility, my ability to sleep at night. That's a huge benefit that most people don't enter the program seeking, but they come to find out that they're sleeping better so that their body's healing and they are able to function better in life. So it's a really great treatment for a lot of people in this state.
So growing up, I guess I was growing up at a time when it was outlawed, for example. I mean, I can remember growing up, I had friends that were arrested for marijuana possession as young boys, I'm talking about, in their teens, ruined their lives, or at least, I don't think that in some cases their lives were completely ruined, but it ruined their young lives, It ruined that portion of their life where there's a stigma that occurred over that, And I look back and I think, how ridiculous was all that? The level of the, it just seems out of balance with, really the way it should have been. But I guess some of that has faded away now, and people realize that it's a natural herb and it helps people. People that have ailments are literally helped by it, and of course going through a doctor and getting the prescription the system seems to be working. How is it working right now? How is the medicinal marijuana program in Mississippi working? Is it a success right now?
In my opinion, it is a success in terms of the products available to patients. We have a wide variety of products, modalities to choose from. Unlike some states where you can't get inhaled products, which means you can't get acute relief. To me, the biggest issue with our program right now is there's an advertising ban for medical marijuana businesses. So patients don't know what to do or where to go. They don't understand that you have to find a particular practitioner who is licensed to certify that you as a patient are eligible for medical marijuana. And so Patient Voices is trying to help connect people to those practitioners. We're collecting data around the state to find out about other barriers. The cost is, a lot of people in Mississippi are living in poverty, don't have access to health insurance. Medical marijuana is another avenue of health that people can't afford. So that's why we're providing subsidized cards in our patient drive campaign. That seems to be going well. But like I said, there's a lot of people who can benefit from this. They're just not aware that they can benefit from it. The stigma that was created and carried out over the last 50 years through the failed war on drugs, through a perfect storm of industry and white nationalism coming together to ban cannabis, which is its scientific medical name and how it was listed in the pharmacopoeia for all those centuries of medical practice in this country. And so during that era of prohibition, they started calling it marijuana to connect it to the Mexican American immigrants that were coming through after the Mexican Civil War. You've got the fiber, DuPont, textile industries wanting to shut down hemp. And then Harry Anslinger wanting to persecute people of color and to disrupt the hippies, so to speak. So, we're still trying to recover from that. And for me, one of the best ways to counteract that is to talk about the safety of medical cannabis and the fact that it cannot kill you. It's physiologically impossible for it to kill you, unlike pills, alcohol, or other hard drugs that will attack your brainstem and cease respiration. Medical marijuana cannot do that. And it's a great concurrent remedy. If you are on prescription medication, a lot of times it can bridge the gap in terms of whether you need to go up on your meds or whether you can stay at your dose. That's my personal experience, and also the experiences of patients that I've interviewed.
Yeah, when you talk about things that are illegal, like, for example, alcohol, that can kill you. Literally. If you can drink yourself to death, or become so addicted to it that, it is kind of funny how marijuana was so demonized for so long, and when you look back historically across the planet, it's been a medicinal herb used in other cultures, since ancient times, and so it's really funny, but not everything that we've been illuminated by, what we've learned through our years growing up and through our adulthood was all true. We find out a lot of information was manufactured to keep people in place and kind of in the dark on a lot of subjects, I think this is one of them. So anyway, that's just my opinion. What do I know? But anyway, so the people right now, basically, the system is this. As I understand it, people who have ailments would go to the doctor, and then they would be prescribed based on what they're suffering from, a card which would allow them to go to a dispensary, and then they would be able to get medicinal marijuana, right?
Correct, but the patients need to know they can't just go to their regular or primary physician. Most doctors have no medical marijuana training. A very few small group does, and that's because they sought it out. But most medical schools are not teaching practitioners about medical marijuana, so that's why only certain practitioners are certified or are able to certify patients. And so just a little distinction, it's not called a prescription because it's, you know, not bound by the FDA, but it is essentially a certification that a doctor says you are eligible because you have the following health conditions. Then, you know, you'd set up an account through the Department of Health, and then you would receive your card from the Department of Health. And then you would go to the dispensary to shop for your medicine. And your doctor who certifies you will likely give you a list of products to choose from. Not specific products, but modalities. Whether it's an inhaled product or a gummy or a tincture or a topical. Sometimes they give you guidance on that, but other times the person working at the dispensary, the bud tender, they will actually guide you more through that process and trying to determine what's best for you.
So let's say a person a person didn't want to smoke it because of maybe they don't want to smoke, period. So they would then be able to get some other type of edible form, like maybe a gummy or maybe even a pill, I guess, right?
Yeah, they're capsules that you can take that have THC or hash in them. There are gummies, there are tinctures you can put under your tongue, a sublingual, that will be more fast acting than a gummy. So yeah, you don't have to smoke, and you really don't even have to get high if you use your medicine correctly. Microdosing is something that I like to encourage patients to do, which is just cut your gummies up, start with a quarter of the dose, and that's just to activate your endocannabinoid system, not necessarily to sedate you or put you down. And then over time, you will hopefully start to feel the benefits if edibles work for your body. Because not everybody, edibles don't work for everybody.
It seems like this is a good product for people who are suffering from stress and that type of stuff. This is an instantaneous way to alleviate stress, I would think, right?
Well, everybody's different, so everybody's going to respond differently to it. And so my background is in practicing law, and I specialize in family law, child advocacy, and I'm a child abuse investigator. And so a lot of what I learn about is PTSD and the brain science of trauma and how that impacts people. And so a lot of my outlook is informed based on the experiences I've had with people over the last 10 to 12 years in the family law realm, and who don't really know what they have. They just have generalized anxiety, they can't sleep, they don't really know that it is PTSD because they don't know about PTSD. Last year we tried to get, Mississippi Patient Voices tried to get generalized anxiety and sleep disorders added to the list of conditions. And our biggest hope was for harm reduction, right? So I'm dealing with people who are going through a hard time in their life, whether it's a divorce or some sort of custody dispute. It's a heightened time of stress and anxiety. And the hope was that instead of sending these people straight to benzos or having them self-medicate with alcohol, that they could more easily go to the doctor to get some medical marijuana to help with those issues, right? Because people shouldn't have to become so damaged that they're, unable to repair their bodies. We should make it more accessible for harm reduction, because people are still self-soothing with alcohol and pills and whatever they can get their hands on.
Now, we're almost out of time, but I would like to invite you back very soon to continue talking about this. I know you've got a couple of seminars, and Mississippi Patient Voices is doing a couple of seminars here on the coast. Can you tell us really quickly the dates and where they're at?
Yes, so we're having educational expos and patient drives on the Gulf Coast, September 6th in Gulfport at the Gulf Coast Event Center from 9 to 4, and at the Ocean Springs Civic Center on September 13th, also 9 to 4. You can go to our website, mspatientvoices.org, to pre-register if you'd like to attend. And you can just come learn about our medical marijuana program. We'll assist you with setting up your portal through the Department of Health, give you tips for success, a patient journal, everything you need to start your medical marijuana journey, or just come find out more about the program and talk to industry experts and doctors.
We've got a clip on the dates and the information you just gave that's running here on Ocean 7, and that will be running, and so people can find out more information, and we'll have you back, and then we'll have the supers up on the screen too, so we can put it up there where people can see it. Elizabeth, thank you for being with us today, and we look forward to having you back soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Edward and Alfred, welcome to the show. It's Edward and Alfred, they'll keep you in the know.